Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
And I'm Corey Baumeister.
And we've got Rob in the booth. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Rob will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. Preview season is over. Release weekend is this weekend.
Yeah.
Release on Friday for Core Set 2021. And that means we get to use the entire set and start exploring some non-standard formats.
Yeah.
In the middle of preview season, when you only have a fraction of the set, then, the primary impact of a new set is always going to be on standard.
Yeah.
We focus on that. Once we have everything, if we see the set in its totality, then we can start to really look at how it's going to impact older formats. And so today we're going to see how it impacts, I guess, Magic's youngest format.
I guess so. Yeah, which is kind of weird to say since it is one of the lesser sets of a format. But
so we're going to be playing some Pioneer today.
Yep.
A format that I think everybody would agree is badly in need of a shakeup.
Yes.
Theros Beyond Death kind of has sort of kept a stranglehold on the metagame between the power of Uro, Heliod, and Thassa's Oracle with Inverter of Truth.
Yep.
Those are the top decks now.
Or Jace with Lotus Breach,
Yep,
So, it was pretty much all Theros, which is crazy.
Yep. And then, the companion mechanic really upset that. But with the nerf, we're sort of back in that Theros Beyond Death world.
Yep.
And I got to say, people aren't really high on Pioneer right now.
Not really? Yeah, I haven't played a ton recently. I've been, focusing on Standard, getting ready for the Players Tours and stuff like that. But now that format's done, I am excited to get back into Pioneer and, most importantly, Modern, because still my favorite format that I haven't dove in like 3 weeks. But the point is just getting to any of these older formats is going to be pretty sweet with the new M21 set. We don't have a ton of new cards in each deck because Pioneer is pretty powerful, so it's not going to have that huge impact that we think it will on Standard. And I would say M21 is still one of the more lesser powered sets that we've had in a while, so it's not going to blast everything, but hopefully it does rejuvenate and inject a little bit of newness into the set.
Yeah, and as Theros Beyond Death showed us, you don't need a ton of new cards to really reshape a metagame
or break it. Yeah.
All those cards I listed were really the only Theros Beyond Death cards in their respective decks, whether it's Sultai Midrange, Lotus Breach, Dimir Inverter, or Mono White Devotion. And they all kind of made the archetype. So hopefully we can find some cards that do similar things for different archetypes in Core Set 2021.
Yep.
And that's really what we're starting with. I think these two decks both contain a single new card, but they really do make the archetype, and I think elevate them far above what they would have been before.
Definitely.
I'm going to be starting with a Conclave Mentor deck. Hardened Scales is a deck with a long pedigree in Pioneer. It's been around basically since the beginning, but it's always been a Golgari deck because of Winding Constrictor.
Yep.
So that way you get to play Scales and Constrictor. Now we get to potentially explore Selesnya variants because Conclave Mentor takes the place of Ballista. We still have Hardened Scales. And White has a ton of cards that play well with counters. I think Watley's Raptor is really nice, not only just in the deck because you have all these creatures with counters on them, but it's also a really good follow-up to your Pelt Collectors and Experiment ones.
Oh, definitely.
So this version of the deck is going that route, whereas other versions go like mana creatures into, Big Vivian and Voracious Hydras and stuff.
Yeah, I like this. I like this better for what it's worth. And a lot of these cards are even something that we can be doing in Standard and something that you've actually seen from a deck that I played, not too long ago, last week, I would imagine.
Last week,
Yeah, and so this is actually something I'm going to be trying to do in Standard because I think just locks it on with Conclave Mentor is going to be pretty sweet. And here you just have that one extra really good 2-drop that you can play. Or the one extra 1-drop, the experimental one. Because you already have Pelt Collector, you already have Stonecoil Serpent for Standard, but I think you really want 12 to make your deck really consistent to always have a good 1-drop to play.
And we have Hardened Scales too, so really 16.
Yeah.
I think Watley's Raptor also plays super well with Nissa Voice of Zendikar.
Yeah.
So that you can aggressively -2 immediate on the first turn you cast it, and then next turn play a Watley's Raptor. All your creatures had counters from the previous Nissa activation.
Yeah.
So they're all getting an extra counter. You can get an extra loyalty on the Nissa and then -2 again. and effectively get 3 +1/+1 counters over the course of 2 turns on your entire team.
Yeah, no, and that's sick. And Walking Ballista. I mean, that's one thing with all of these Hardened Scales decks that has put it way over the edge. Was that absolutely busted card. So
gonna be important in this matchup.
It is going to be important in this matchup. I'm hoping you draw none of them. I'm going to be playing a Goblin deck with Conspicuous Snoop. Is that how I say it? Conspicuous. Oh yeah, okay. Conspicuous Snoop. Not comboing off like we've seen some of the modern decks do, but it's just an insanely good value card. Just being able to always look at the top, and it's just a decent body already. And if you can like put a pile driver on top, attack, then play it or something like that, it's going to be quite spicy. Yeah. So
and in particular, that we've seen with Experimental Frenzy, that kind of effect really good when your curve is low.
Yeah,
you want to be able to hit multiple threats and you chain them together.
Yeah,
and this deck, which is sort of Goblin Bushwhacker, very low to the ground, hyper aggressive deck.
Yeah.
Really values that kind of effect. One, it's on a cheap enough body that it fits the curve.
Mm-hmm.
It's your second 2-drop after Goblin Instigator. And then it gives you staying power that you otherwise don't have because your deck is so low curved, but also is staying power that plays really well into the deck's hyper aggressive nature.
Exactly. So, and I mean, like, the only thing you can't really hit off it is like our Stoke the Flames, and that is kind of our last minute reach.
Burning Tree Emissaries is the big one you can't
Burning Tree Emissaries.
I'd love to be able to hit that one.
Yeah, but Burning Tree Emissary you still definitely want to be playing in this deck because it's one of the best things you can be doing with Goblins. So just Burning Tree Emissary into Bushwhacker alone on turn 2 is just insane. So.
Got to play those emissaries. That's actually a card that I'm kind of surprised it doesn't see more play.
Yeah,
I think part of the issue is that it really wants to be in actual Gruul decks, and the mana for a Burning Tree Emissary Gruul deck, which would be low curve, low land count, just doesn't work with the way the Pioneer lands are sorted out.
Yeah, that's true. Gruul has always had just kind of bad mana bases too, which is so weird.
For like the last 3 years, every Gruul deck has had heinous mana.
You just have to play like temples and stuff, which is just a tilt, believe it or not, Temple of Tilt.
But in Pioneer, you've got to play like 3 mana confluences if you want to do something like that.
Yeah.
And even then, you're still probably playing some Rootbound Crags, and you've got these awkward draws. Yeah. I played a Gruul Bushwhacker deck for like a few weeks in Pioneer, and my kingdom for a Copperline Gorge.
Yes, no kidding. There was that awesome Naya like beatdown deck that we played with Bushwhacker that we really loved on Versus maybe a couple months ago or whatever. I played that for a decent amount, but it almost felt like the mana base was better with that, which just cannot be true, but it felt smoother,
Yeah. Sometimes that does work out because you get a better like color spread, and then the extra dual lands help out.
Yeah.
In this case, still probably not.
Okay, shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
All right, I got the marbles from last week, so it's your choice. Play or draw.
I will play first.
Yeah, I think the play and draw aspect is going to be quite important in this matchup. All right.
I will keep my hand.
I'll keep mine as well.
Let's lead on Fortified Village, show you a Plains, and play Experiment 1.
Okay. Pretty solid start. Not our best one drop, but works pretty well with the Conspicuous Snoop. I'll pass to you.
Not a good draw.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go with Burning Tree Emissary and Burning Tree Emissary and Surge of Bushwhacker and get in there. Oh yeah, this is what we're trying to do basically every game. So you can take out one of my 2/1s. Then you lose Experimental 1, but yeah, I think you're kind of at the point where you almost have to.
Definitely have to trade, so I'm going to block the Prospector.
Prospector? Okay, interesting.
I'll take 8, go to 12.
6, 7, 8. Yep, okay, pass to you.
Fortified Village, Real Plains.
Okay.
Play Heliod.
Heliod, okay.
You can go.
Oh, I suppose you have a combo in this, huh? Uh-oh. God, am I just dead to it next turn if you have it? I guess so. All right.
Might explain why I block Skirt Prospector.
Yeah. Okay, but you're dead. But you're dead. Turn 3.
That is 13 damage.
Yeah, not bad, huh?
Even if I had blocked the Reckless Bushwhacker last turn, I was taking lethal this turn.
Yeah, it'd still be 12, right? Yeah.
Well, I didn't have the Walking Blitz anyway.
Okay. Oh, so your hand was just heinous.
Yeah, I just drew,
Yeah.
lands out. I guess my opening hand was these and 4 lands, which seemed reasonable. I just need to draw
Just anything to fill out that curve. Any 2-drop.
these from my 3 draws.
Yep. And mine was great. I needed that land to kill you at the end to be able to play a 1-drop too, but... all right. Well, what do you think? You want to do 2 pre?
Yeah.
Okay.
This matchup might end up being a best of 5.
It might be more. It might be more. All right, Rob, you got any questions from our lovely audience?
Yeah, Chad has given me a few here.
Okay.
So Rural Boren wanted to know, do you see Steamkin as a possible play in this Mono Red Goblins deck as a way to power out things with Snoop, or do you think that just Skirk Prospector is good enough?
Yeah, I'm not in love with Skirt Prospector, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't seem like it. You don't really want to sack your goblins that much, I feel. Unless I'm missing some kind of key interaction. It doesn't seem great.
Yeah, it's certainly not great, but there are definitely times when you want to sack goblins that you just played off Snoop to play a Bushwhacker or you're just light on lands.
Yeah.
It's certainly not great, but I also just think you want a ton of 1-drops.
Yeah.
And when you talk about like Runaway Steamkin, 2-drops are a premium here. You pay a pretty high cost to put them in your deck, and you already have the Snoop. Obviously, that's going to make it. So Steamkin would be there over something like Goblin Instigator.
Yeah, and then we're just short on goblins too.
Yeah.
Like if we have that, so I think it makes Snoop pretty bad.
Yeah. Plus, that you're never going to get the same synergy that you got with Experimental Frenzy, because you're always going to run into lands. And if you add Steamkin, now you have Steamkin and Burning Tree Emissary.
Yeah.
That stop the chain. So I don't think you're going to go off the way that we saw people that could go off with Experimental Frenzy and Steamkin. So I would be off of that, especially because you really need to maintain the tribal synergies as much as possible.
Yep. Nope, I would have to agree with that. But definitely something to think about. A powerful card when you can play, and here's the problem with that too. You have to play Runaway Steamkin on turn 2, and then turn 3 do your like Burning Tree Emissaries, and sure, then you could maybe just dump your hand. And like I envision the best thing on turn 3, just like playing Burning Tree, Bushwhacker, attack, and use the 3 mana from Runaway to like Castle Embreth or something. Yeah. Which is good, and that is an extra cute effect to get an extra Bushwhacker thing, effect, I should say. But yeah, it doesn't seem quite good enough to me.
That is another trick you can do with Skirk Prospectors. Make this all-out attack. They block a few things. You sack the things they block to activate Castle.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, one more question, Rob, before we get into game 2.
Igloo Boy 8 wants to know, so an obvious question I think about the Scales deck is, do you think that there's a place for an Obzon version, so you kind of meld the two?
So
could be.
I would be, concerned about the mana, and that's one of the downsides of being Selesnya instead of Golgari.
Yeah.
But then you've got to think, how many of the Scales effects do I want to play? Are you going to play 12? Because there are diminishing returns on them.
Yeah.
Once you draw like the 4th one.
But they do scale.
You don't have enough things to work with it. So
F's in chat for that one.
Oh, come on. You haven't even seen chat.
I think it so much wasn't for the snake that they were talking about, just more for, Fatal Push and Thoughtseize, things like that.
I don't think those cards are as important. They're nice to have.
Yeah.
But this deck is always going to be driven by its synergies primarily, and you're going to win games because what you're doing is just so much more powerful than what your opponent is doing.
Yeah. That's the question, is what kind of removal do you have access to from the white side? Okay. Dramoka's Command's awesome. Devout Decree, excellent. Gideon as well. No, I like Gideon a lot just for the inverter matchups. Rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, I actually think white has a little bit better of a sideboard. If we had Path, then I don't see a reason to ever go back to Golgari.
But it's not like you're hurting for options.
Yeah.
I like it. It would be nice to have Thoughtseize against Inverter.
Yeah.
But Gideon is also nice to have against them.
Yeah. Conclave Tribunal, ever worth it at all?
Yeah, that could definitely be. Yeah. I could see playing 1 or 2 of those in the sideboard.
Yeah. Problem is there are some decks that can destroy the enchantments and stuff like that. But it becomes a bit of a liability.
Yeah. And it would be like okay against Inverter. Like you get to nab their Jaces mostly.
Yeah.
But that's not great.
Yeah, that's not great either. It wouldn't be the sideboard tech you want for them. But just a main deck removal if for some reason there's creatures that are bad for you. But more than likely, game one, you just want to have no removal and you just want to do your thing.
Yep.
Same with goblins. So, all right, great questions, everybody. Keep them coming in. All right.
And now I have the Tilt-A-Whirl hand.
Yes, tilt. Okay.
If this hand curved out, it would be great.
Okay.
I would go Pell Collector into Conclave Mentor, have it be a 3/3, and then have a bunch of this stuff back.
Something you can do in standard.
Do not think I can keep the hand when it has that.
You gotta love 2 Selesnya Guild Gates, huh?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna keep my hand. It's not insane or anything. It's definitely not as good as last hand, but I gotta read this card. I haven't seen this one in quite a while. Okay. All right, yeah, not too bad. All right, Rob, you got one more question for us?
Yeah, Yargs wants to know: do you think Pioneer is in a good spot right now, or will be in a good spot after Core 21 comes out?
I think it's going to be pretty, if I'm being honest, I would say I think it's going to be pretty hard for it to change drastically. I almost am never in the camp of, all right, we need a ban, but I do think Inverter was so close to being on the chopping block when COVID hit, and then we weren't going to tournaments. So this was a format that kind of stopped getting attention from Wizards or for, tournaments. And I think that put it into a bit of a stale rut, personally. And I think Inverter is just a little too good, and probably something should be taken from it. But no, not necessarily. I don't necessarily think it's in a great spot. What do you think, Ross?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could be better. It's definitely stale. And I think it's stale for the reasons that you noted.
Yeah.
Just hasn't been getting a ton of attention, and the cards from Theros Beyond Death are really
good.
Powerful.
Yeah.
I would love to. I think the biggest thing that could happen towards balancing the format is getting more balance in the mana bases, because right now aggro decks are having once again just having a tough time of it, because their mana bases are generally pretty bad outside of things like Izzet Soul has a fine mana base because it's enemy colored.
Or just mono red or mono black.
Yeah, the monocolored aggro deck. So giving them the full set of pain lands and fast lands, and maybe letting a 3-color aggro deck work that is a little bit more powerful, or letting like a really good Gruul aggro deck, because I think Gruul has a lot of good tools. It just doesn't have a consistent enough mana base.
That's true.
Or maybe even Selesnya.
Isn't mono black still good though?
So the mono black deck that's been doing better recently is the Vampires version.
Oh, nice. Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah, which is a little bit grindier, but still an aggressive deck.
Yep.
And mono black aggro is around, but the Vampires version has actually been peaking back up a little bit.
Okay, interesting, because I mean that was a deck that I feel was starting to just become, maybe one of the better decks, because it was just, it was like Thiago Saporito was always winning with that deck, and kind of held it as a secret that this is one of the better decks.
This is going to be a keep, but another unfortunate mana draw from...
Tap land go.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go with a Frenzied Goblin. Past you. I had to read that one. That's been a while. Probably had the planes, but not too many planes 1-drops.
No.
Okay. I think I am willing to offer a trade here. Okay.
19.
All right, 19 to 20, and I will play a Pile Driver and pass to you.
Let's play that tapped. Play Watley's Raptor.
Okay.
So this is going to get a counter from the Raptor, then I'll proliferate, get a second counter.
Okay.
And we're just playing defense, pass the turn.
Defense. Defense. All right, yeah, that's pretty scary. Well, what can I do here? All right, I think my best play is going to be Legion Loyalist.
Yep.
Fanatical Firebrand. Going to attack, and I'm going to pay 1 to make... Don't think it matters too much. Make Watley's Raptor unable to block. trigger for this, so this goes to be
7.
a 7. First striker. Now you got 2 creatures that you really want to be able to block. And you got to at least make a tough choice.
Yeah, and I'm at 19. I'm going to block the Frenzied Goblin.
Okay.
And take 9.
Okay.
I go to 10.
Your go. Now I'm scared of this turn, because it's already going to be pretty tough to push through damage.
Sorry, what are life totals?
He's at 10, I'm at 20. Mana Confluence. Keep tapping that one.
You have 3.
3 cards. They're all good.
Well, let's attack for 2.
18.
I'm going to play a 1/1 Ballista.
Okay.
And I'm going to go to 9 and play a Venerated Loxodon.
Okay.
So I'm going to have the Pelt Collector trigger before the Loxodon. So put Loxodon on the stack, then Pelt Collector. So it's 1 from itself, and then a counter from the Loxodon.
Yep.
This gets a second. So I'm at 9.
Okay.
That's
trouble.
And I am going to just shoot these now.
Okay.
Don't want an easy Stoke the Flames.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pass the turn.
All right,
This is Corey's big turn.
And it's not going to be great. It's not going to be great. I have this, and I'll pass to you. Yeah, it's just going to be tough to push through damage when it gets to this point. I mean, this is the common battle of giant green monsters versus little red aggressive things. If I can win right away, then it's great. But
okay, well, another tilting ETB tapped land from my mana base.
Okay.
I'm going to play conservatively for 1 more turn, so just get in for 3.
Okay.
So 15 to 9.
Yep.
I'm just worried about another Legion Loyalist for this pile driver. And I'll play Heliod.
Ooh.
Pass the turn. Yeah, next turn we'll be gaining 9, so.
Oh no. Well, I'm dead. Could try to have you sack a creature to block pile driver, which you probably have to do. Maybe. Yikes. Yeah, situations like this, it's just you can try to look at the math in any different shade of light you want, and you are not going to do it.
Yeah, this is where you need those conspicuous snoops.
Yeah, no kidding. I have not seen one yet.
5 lands, no snoop is tough for this deck.
Yeah. What the heck?
Is this also some kind of spot where you think you might want like a Siege Gang Commander or something in the deck?
That could be interesting.
You're a 20 land deck. You can't be playing 5 drops.
Yeah. I mean, obviously in this situation, when I draw my 5th land, I'd want it, but yeah, probably not.
But would that even be good enough?
Oh, no.
Like, I don't think Siege Gang Commander is going to turn this game around.
No. What I need is...
What you need is 2 Goblin Grenades.
Yeah, or some Claim the Firstborns here. That would be probably pretty good. Yeah, I just have a creature. Here we go.
Not the best draw.
You don't need a draw. I think you can not draw anymore, and you're fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna just get in with these 2 still.
All right, I'll block the Huatli Raptor.
Okay, I will give Pelt Collector lifelink.
Okay.
Not going to give this one lifelink since you have the Firebrand.
All right. 1 to you.
So I'm going to go to 8 and then up to 13.
Sure.
You're going to go to 10.
Sure.
Pass the turn.
All right. Anyone's game. All right. You win. Yeah. Well, it was your worst draw, but still just didn't matter. You were too far ahead.
Yeah. And the 1 Heliod would have been fine. I was drawing a Ballista too.
Ooh.
I guess I was 1 short of comboing you.
Yeah, I think you were going to survive.
Yeah, I could have made a play there trying to, use the Ballista enough but leave it in play, but that was tough against the Firebrand.
Yeah. I think you had Heliod in hand, right?
Yeah, it was
I
just
think
better
all
to
you had to
continue.
do was just control. Yeah, that would have been fine.
But I think that's a spot where it's tempting to try to set up a combo, but it just makes so much more sense to use your Ballista aggressively, keep their board in check. Then I have a bunch of big creatures in Heliod, and that's more than good enough.
Yeah, you already have a combo of 5 power and lifelink against Aggro. That's usually a good enough combo. So
perhaps you remember this card called a Baneslayer Angel.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, it was on your 1/1 Pelt Collector. And I did have Firebrand instead of Goblin Pile Driver that I could have just played to deal with Pelt Collector. And I probably should have, realistically.
Pelt Collector got beat.
Pelt Collector was a problem. So, all right, we split games here. We're probably going to have time for best 3 out of 5 because these are some pretty fast games. But let's see what we got as far as some sideboard toys for each of our matchups. We're going to head to sideboarding, and we'll be back in 3 minutes. See you soon. All right, everybody, welcome back to sideboarding here at Versus Live. I am playing Mono Red Goblins up against Selesnya tokens. I am going to be taking out Skirk Prospector. I think it's just one of the weakest cards in the deck. I'm not really trying to combo off with sacking goblins against a deck where I need all my resources to cross the finish line. And I'm just hoping I have more of a game like I did game 1 because I think...
The nuts?
The nuts, yeah. Hey, I could have had 2 more Burning Tree Emissaries. That was weak compared to what it could have been. We're also going to take out some Pile Drivers. I don't think they're great at trying to push through creature decks. It's okay at just trading with something of yours. If it had Trample naturally built into it, then I think it's better in creature matchups because then it's going to be a giant hit that you're eventually going to have to chump block. But needing the Goblin Loyalist Legion Loyalist to be able to push through, I don't think it's great. And then we're going to take out 1 Stoke the Flames to keep our creature count pretty low, bringing in the really good anti-creature removal spell of Searing Blood here, just to be able to kill one of your Pelt Collectors, Huatli's Raptor, plus get some damage in, something that's been very good for burn.
A little help to kill Huatli's Raptor, but...
Yeah, well, what isn't it?
It's a 2/3.
Oh, yeah, and I'm not sacking that much lands, actually, huh?
You're not sacking.
Or wait a minute.
It's a shock to a creature, and then when that creature dies, it deals 3
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's maybe not as good.
I mean, Conclave Mentor's a 2/2, so it hits that.
Yeah.
It hits all the 1/1s.
Yeah, and
I think it's easily good.
And it can still push through if you block with a Loxodon, block a 2/2 or something. So, yeah, it seems okay. All right, can you tell I've never cast a Searing Blood in a competitive event? Not normally my style, I'd say. I lean more towards Yorion. How about that?
I've cast my fair share of Searing Bloods.
I bet. All right, and then this card I have cast a decent amount. Let's bring in a couple Hazards here to be able to just have that little form of inevitability. If I can draw one of these late game, it should be pretty perfect.
Yeah. On my side, there was a big question of how much removal I wanted to bring in, and the answer is actually not very much.
Yeah.
Spot removal is not particularly good against you. You get onto the battlefield really quickly.
And I go wide.
Yeah, and you go wide. So it's actually better to just play defense with my creatures as much as possible. There are select creatures I do want to kill. Legion Loyalist. I want to kill... Frenzied Goblin, the things that actually make my blockers worse.
Yep.
So you need a little bit of removal for those cards, and I think Dromoka's Command is actually better than Devout Decree in that role. It's going to be making me weaker to Hazoret specifically, and maybe I decide Hazoret's a big problem and I make some swaps, but for now I want to stick with Command because this card also has the mode of countering Searing Blood, countering Stoke the Flames, and that's huge.
I am shocked that card's not in your main deck, to be honest. It seems perfect with this type of deck.
It is good in this kind of deck. I just wanted to be really focused on my own synergies.
Yeah.
When you have the combo, that takes up extra spots.
True. I can see just these, right? I think the Stonecall Serpents are better than those.
Sure. I'm only playing 2 of these and 4 Serpents, so I agree. Yeah. But you need a lot of cheap creatures to make Loxodon work.
True.
So these, you would probably have to cut these together. And you see I'm cutting them in sideboarding when I'm becoming more interactive.
Yeah, I would think 2 max or something. But yeah, you could be right just to do that pre-board.
Also got some oozes to get a little bit of life gain. This card can also just get out of control when you have some Scales effects in play. Becomes a 6/6 plus pretty easily.
Another thing we can do in Standard now.
I'm trimming one of my Nissas. A little bit slow in this matchup. I wanted to cut Loxodon anyway so that I could trade early more aggressively and not have this stranded in my hand. It's also kind of tough to just cast because I want to leave my blockers up.
Yeah, tap your team. Okay, you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. So Nissa gets a little bit worse here. Also, the plant tokens weak to Legion Loyalist.
Okay. All right. All makes sense to me.
Nissa gets a lot of its value in aggro matchups of just generating blockers. And when it's not doing that, it's not going to be very good.
Not as good. That is for sure. Okay. So let's see. We probably can sneak in a best of 5 here. These games have been pretty lightning fast. But we can also sneak in some questions. You got any for us, Rob?
Yeah, I got a little 2-parter here.
Oh.
So Richie2196 wants to know, first, what's your favorite goblin? And second, what's your favorite tribe in Magic?
Favorite goblin? I don't know. I think just War Chief. You know, I mean, just the 3 mana 2/2. All your goblins have haste, makes your goblins cost less. I played goblins in Legacy as my only Legacy SCG Open I played, and I top 8'd, and then lost to goblins in the top 8 when I was like 16 or something, back when they were still one-day events.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that just enabled all the synergies, but I have not played a ton of goblins.
I played a lot of goblins back in the day when it was in Standard.
Okay.
The Onslaught era goblin bidding.
Okay.
Played a ton of that deck.
Nice.
And my favorite goblin out of that deck was always Goblin Sharpshooter.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
the neat
one.
tricks that you could do with it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I also love Mog War Marshal.
Which one was that?
That's the one with Echo that makes 1/1s when it enters and dies.
Oh, yep.
But I remember back in the Time Spiral era of Standard, I played a lot of the Greater Gargadon Mog War Marshal decks. There's one that was Rakdos and played Dark Confidant and Hit Run. And sometimes your Dark Confidant just dealt you 1 million damage, but you didn't care.
Yeah.
I mainly played the Gruul version that was playing Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, I played a Greater Gargadon Dark Confidant deck before. It's nice to live life on the edge, you know?
I think the top of the list is probably Goblin Electromancer, though.
Oh.
It's like barely a goblin, but it's an Izzet card.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One of 2 Izzet goblins, I think. There might be more by now.
Okay.
But I can recall Goblin Flectomancer.
Goblin, is it caster? Or Static Caster? Isn't that a goblin?
Izzet Staticaster's a human.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, that's right, because humans played it. Yeah.
But there's Goblin Flectomancer,
Okay.
which is from
Goblin Flexomancer?
Flecto.
Okay.
With it was from Guild Pact.
Okay.
It's like red blue or red blue. I can't remember which. For a 2/2, and you sacrificed it to redirect a spell.
Okay.
It is blue, red.
Blue, red. Yeah, Goblin Flectomancer.
Okay.
One of my friends just loved Goblin Flectomancer for some reason. Like the idea of an Izzet goblin really tickled him, so he just had like 80 of them.
I like it.
This art is pretty insane too.
Yeah.
And then as far as favorite tribes, definitely fairies for me. I love blue-black fairies.
Yeah.
Mistbind Click. Give it back to me. That was one of my favorite cards ever. What about you?
It's pretty obvious.
What?
Elves.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I suppose. You do love your elves. All right.
Not whatever Progenitus is.
Okay, I'm gonna try this. It's not the greatest of hands, but we got something fun to do.
I will keep as well.
All right, Frenzied Goblin, your go.
Also, Corey, Chad is surprised your favorite tribe is not bird serpents.
Yes. How could I forget? How stupid of me. All right, beatdowns.
19.
All right, we got the new card. All right, play with the top of your library revealed. All right, and I'll pass to you.
Scary one.
Yep, I'm excited.
I've got a pretty cool turn here, so we'll play an Experiment 1.
Okay.
And then a 1/1 Serpent that enters as a 2/2, which then will evolve the Experiment 1 to a 3/3.
Whoa, that is pretty sweet. Okay.
You can go.
Okay, so draw this. Legion Loyalist, huh? All right. Well, I suppose we're playing that one. A Snoop, huh? Okay, so we could play Bushwhacker here and just try to do that, but our attacks are not very good. Not very good at all.
I mean, you would lose the Loyalist to the Experiment 1, but you would get in with the others, or this would chump. So you'd get in 7.
Yeah, but get in with the rest. You could kill this, but I guess I have another
because
one.
they have first strike.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
okay.
so your attack it's not like you chump attack the Legion Loyalist, you get in 7, or potentially you get in 4 and trade Loyalist for Serpent.
Oh, but wait, can't you block that? Oh, no, because it's first strike. Okay, I'm dumb.
Yeah, this does not have any good blocks.
All right, I am going to do that because I am okay just losing the Loyalist, so.
And I am okay doing that. So I'm going to go to 12.
Okay. And your go. Now I just do not want you to have a Ballista turn. Please, leave my precious goblins alone. I guess your Ballista isn't insane right now, but it's good.
You have 3 in hand?
Yep.
Jesus.
But I got the top of the library. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that is certainly the main thing.
Well, so far Snoop has just been awesome. Instead of Snoop Dogg, can it be Snoop Gob? Is that right?
Coming to a tour on Ravnica near you.
Yeah.
You're at 20 right now.
Just a gentle 20.
Grades are slightly better for that pun, Corey.
What's up?
Grades are slightly better for that last pun. So
not
you got an
bad.
A, a B, and then 2 Fs. But
Wow, that's a. If we got a grade point
that's
average,
like
there, I think I
was
got
gonna say that's a C average. So
That's just my grade point average in school. So good job.
Okay, I'll pass the turn.
Okay. Okay, I'll play a Fanatical Firebrand. All right. Land. Legion Loyalist.
Sure.
Bushwhacker.
That is pretty messed up.
May I attack?
No.
Okay.
I will Dromoka's command, put a counter here, and fight the Loyalist.
The counter here, fight the Loyalist, huh?
Fortunately, could not put counters on Stonecoil Serpent because it is pro-multicolored.
Okay, that makes sense.
I would have fought the Snoop, but you have another one, so that did not
Yep.
really seem prudent.
Okay, so now my attacks are a little bit worse. I guess your Serpent will die to whatever you trade, so I can't imagine not attacking with everything here. Yeah, I'm out of this for blockers.
Okay, so at this point, the Snoop is still better than a Reckless Bushwhacker by a lot. It'll force you to play the other one.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely need to get the Frenzied Goblin out of the way because I'm only going to have one blocker after this.
Yep.
So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
7,
So
and
I'll go
then
5.
that dies. Okay, and then it's your go. What's up?
I was just making sure the Experiment 1 didn't take a total of 5 damage, but it didn't. It only took 1 from this and 2 from that. Yeah.
Nope, it's definitely alive. All right, we're hanging on.
God.
Hanging on by a
They're
thread.
not good draws.
So far, the Snoop has been awesome, though. That card is really sweet. If I got a Goblin below the Searing Blood, I'm going to be pretty happy. All right.
That's the turn.
Okay, so probably another Dromokas. Well, I could just attack, force you to answer the board, just to activate Castle, and then keep my Snoop. Then you'd get to kill 2 things, take 2. And then you cannot really play any creature that could die to Searing Blood. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. I'm not feeling the pressure of you starting to just absolutely start wrecking me, so I think I can play it a little patient. And I just gotta put you on another Dromoka's command. Nothing else makes sense. And I think Snoop is the thing that could help me win the long game. All right, I'll attack.
I'll block Bushwhacker.
All right, I'll activate Castle.
Okay, I'm dead.
All right.
If I play the Nissa, you just kill the token.
Yeah.
Or I minus and then you can castle and I'm dead.
Yeah.
So I just had to hope you got afraid of a command
Yeah.
and give me an extra turn. Then maybe I could draw.
Was just this. That's pretty good too. And then I was gonna draw this. Wow, I was going to go off.
Yes, Snoop looked great that game.
Snoop looked insane. Okay, I think Snoop is gonna rejuvenate Goblins a little bit because that felt awesome.
Yeah, and it gives that deck just this added burst of power that it didn't otherwise have, and card advantage that it didn't have. It really it fills out the deck really nicely.
It's Experimental Frenzy, but 2 mana, and it's a 2/2. That's all it is in this deck. I mean, it's a complete build around Experimental Frenzy where you don't just get to play every good red card. And of course, you have some, things that hold you back. This is going to be one of those decks where sideboarding is going to be very, very important to not mess up because a lot of people like to over sideboard in decks like this, and that's going to be a huge problem. You know, like, I mean, just what I did might have already been over sideboarding, you know?
Yeah, it really might have been. This is definitely, I 100% agree. This is a deck that does not want to sideboard that much.
Yep. Agreed.
You want to keep your Goblin count high because Snoop is going to be even more important in the post-board games.
Yeah.
Your opponent's interacting more. You need a little bit more card advantage to counteract that. And so, you know, like maybe you can get some more powerful cards, but you're also making one of your better cards, you know, that much less powerful. So how much are you really gaining overall?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. On the draw, I'm going to do a little exchange here. One of the Hezarets, I definitely never want to draw two. And on the draw, I think it's a little bit worse. And then I think Wild Slash is a little bit better on the draw to hit your Pelt Collectors and stuff. And then one Skirk because, I don't know, YOLO. All right, we got any questions?
It's always the best reason for anything, just YOLO, right?
Oh my God, Jeremy, you scared me so bad. I did not see you sneak in. I was like, who is the man behind the curtain over there?
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
I was like, Rob, look out, dude. There is someone behind you.
We're going to have to cancel versus live.
Don't worry, he's practicing social distancing. He's very far behind him, which made it even scarier. So. All right, you got a question, Rob? And anybody want to check my pulse?
Yeah, we had some questions. So you mentioned about wanting to see better or more lands in Pioneer to make the mana base a little more even. What land cycles would you like to see, or what's top of that list, I guess?
At least one of Pain lands and Fast lands for friendly color pairs.
I've always wanted filter lands back. I don't know if they have like bad reps or something, or if people don't really like those, but I loved filter lands. I thought they really fixed mana bases quite well.
They fix mana bases in a very distinct way, where they let you splash cards you otherwise wouldn't be able to splash and things like that.
Yeah.
They are awkward for aggro decks because they don't produce colored mana on turn one.
True. Okay.
So
just like brushland kind of thing is better. And the lands we're talking about is where you filter like green or white.
Firelight
and get,
Thicket, Wooded Bastion.
Exactly. Anybody who hadn't played for them, because they haven't been around in a long time.
So they were. So Graven Cairns was originally in Future Sight.
Okay.
And it was a future shifted card, and then they were printed in Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, or is it Shadowmoor and Eventide? Yeah.
Yep,
because one had friendlies, and one had enemies.
So I remember playing green-white tokens, kind of similar to the deck you're playing back around that time.
Yeah, and that deck was playing like early white creatures and Noble Hierarch and Kitchen Finks, but then also Overrun at the top. And so Wooded Bastion did actually help you get that weird spread of colors.
And like Spectral Procession too.
Yes,
so that deck was everywhere.
When you're trying to cast Spectral Procession and Overrun, filter lands are great. They're the ideal land.
No kidding. Okay. Yeah, all right. Mulliganing? Okay.
Lands.
I will be keeping my hand. It's definitely not insane again, but we got some fun stuff to do. All right.
Robert, got another one for us?
Robert. I like that.
Yeah, Turnpike Bear wants to know, is there any chance that maybe should the Goblins deck be playing a Luris or two?
I mean... How are you casting it? You want to just play 12 white dual lands?
And like Blood Crypts and stuff like that. I have seen that before. But the thing is, like, returning one goblin a turn, I don't think is insane. You know, it's only good in the matchups where you're either trading resources or they use spot removal that doesn't exile. So that's a pretty narrow thing. But I have seen some decks, from the great deck designer Crokies, who makes all the decks. Let's just get real. But he built a super sweet deck that was just mono red, but like Luris as the companion before they were nerfed, and it was just Sacred Foundries, Blood Crypts, all that stuff to make it easy to cast. And I was like, that is actually really smart.
You would have to play some non-mountain dual lands, and that weakens your Castle Embreths, which are excellent in this deck.
Yeah.
So I think post-companion nerf, that's a no-go.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. Pre-companion nerf, it would have been a conversation.
Agreed. Yep. Or even... God, Widow Bosch? No, not with Snoop being one of the powerful
Snoop
cards.
and Emissary. The Reckless Bushwhacker, despite like you casting it for 2, is a 3-drop, so that fits with Obosh.
Yeah.
Not losing Emissary and Snoop.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
And like maining at any copy is probably not worth it. 5 mana is a little rough. That's probably a better card than Siege Gang Commander, though.
The mana base in this deck is killing me.
Five.
Multiple games I've just had 6 lands, 4 spells, and now I just can't draw them.
In the standard deck that I'm going to be playing, I'm definitely playing the Temples, and it's not something you want with Pellet Collector and stuff like that, but for sure still going to do it.
I think I'm going to keep this. Just hope to draw another land.
Okay.
And given this hand, it's got to be putting that one back.
All right, Ross Merriam, bring
Fortified Village, go.
Selesnya Guildgate, you mean? Your go.
No one drop from Corey is really nice.
Yep.
You only have 1 Wild Slash in your deck, but there's no way. How do you keep a hand in that deck without a 1-drop?
I probably have a 1-drop then, don't I? I probably have a 1-drop. All right. Can't Wild Slash that.
Yeah, I'll save my life on the Temple card and get my scale down.
All right. Now let's go with Snoop. There it is. Here you go. Oh yeah.
Drawing 2 lands off the top, and that's really nice.
Ross getting lucky. Shocked. This is my shocked face.
So we definitely want to get the Pellet Collector down. The question is what the follow-up is going to be.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be this. So like it leaves me more options later on.
Okay.
So we'll play a Conclave Mentor.
Okay.
Finally getting one of those.
Yeah.
So this is going to get 3 counters.
Impressive.
Instead of its normal 1, and I'll pass.
All right. Okay. Firebrand's really excellent right now. I'm going to play it. Searing Blood. I'm going to go with Goblin Instigator. Tap them all and get that Pellet Collector out of there. How's that feel? Buddy? All right, your go. Not a bad turn, huh? Any 1-drop off the top was going to be pretty sweet.
That's rough.
Yeah, that Pellet Collector was getting large. That Pellet Collector was going to be a gigantic creature. I guess it was going to be pretty tough for you to actually trigger it again, but...
You have 4 cards in hand?
Yep. You know a Bushwhacker.
Yep.
Oh, and it's Surge any spell. Nice. That's pretty sweet.
It's really hard for me to make the play I need to make to protect this Mentor from the Searing Blood.
Yeah.
I just don't think I can realistically do that.
Just got to kind of sacrifice it.
Yeah, so I'm going to play a 1/1 Serpent that enters as a 3/3.
Okay.
And then a Huatley's Raptor and put 3 more counters on this. So we'll have a 6/6 Stonecoil Serpent.
That's pretty large.
And I'll pass the turn.
Okay. We'll see what I want to do here. Thank you. And you're still at 20, right?
Yeah, it's 20 all, which is unusual.
Yeah, no kidding.
Has land 4, so can play Searing Blood Bushwhacker.
Yep.
But I'll still have 2 blockers.
Yeah, that's not great for me, really.
Yeah, it's only going to be a 6-point attack, and you lose the Snoop, which is probably untenable.
I think instead I'm going to kill both of these.
Well, Searing Blood on this. Oh, with that. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to take 6 from the Searing Bloods, but gain 2 from the Mentor.
Oh, when it dies, you gain
life equal to its power.
Okay, so you're going to go to...
doing a 16.
Yep. Okay, and that's all I got. Just try to control your battlefield a little bit here. This creature's giant, but you can't really turn it sideways if you want to be trying to create a blocker here.
Well, I drew a pretty good one.
Okay.
In Walking Ballista.
Card I don't want to see.
And I think that means I can freely attack. Because you have a Bushwhacker in hand. You hit a creature off the top, you have 5 attackers, and I can just kill 2 of them.
Yeah,
and though this is going to let me... Yeah, I'm going to get in for 6.
I'm down to 14.
You can go.
Okay.
As long as this turn isn't like a complete disaster. It seems difficult for it to be.
Yeah.
Although that's a start.
That's a start. All right, we'll play this.
Yep.
That's an end.
Can't cast out. Okay.
All right, Bushwhacker. Bushwhacker. All right, declare attacks.
Yep.
Crunch.
So this is a 2 and this is a 4, and these are all 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 18.
You want to take it?
Well, I'm thinking if I can kill you.
Yeah, that's probably reasonable.
8, 11, that's exactly 14 if I kill the 3 power Bushwhacker. So the first Bushwhacker ends up having 3 power.
Yep.
So if I kill that, this is a 4, this is a 2. So that's 6, and these are all 3s. That's 15, that'll put me to 1.
Okay.
And then this will be, yeah. Okay.
And then am I dead exactly with this? With a land,
I have Nissa. So put 2 counters on each, attack for 11, then deal you 3.
Dang it. Okay. I mean, what do I do? Hold back?
No, I think you're 100% right to make the play you did.
Yeah.
Just ended up being 1 short, and I had exactly lethal.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I did have a hand without a 1-drop, but it was like Searing Blood, Snoop, Stoke the Flames and stuff, and I think it was still worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Snoop
not
once again looked awesome.
Yep.
You hit 1 drop on the turn you needed to.
I didn't hit as many as I hit on the previous games. I got a little bit luckier before, but yeah, I mean, impressive work from just the giant creatures versus the go wide creatures.
Yeah.
And maybe if I, started with a 1-drop, well, okay, for sure. If I started with a 1-drop, you were dead since you ended that 1.
Oh, yeah.
Or you had to make a little bit more awkward blocks.
I mean, I drew 2 lands in a row, didn't take any damage from my mana base. The 2 life from the Conclave Mentor was critical.
Yeah.
That's a nice, addition. 2 power versus, or 2 toughness versus 3 toughness.
Yeah.
Pretty huge in a world where Wild Slash is common.
Yep.
When you compare to Winding Constrictor.
Mm-hmm.
But that life gain, especially because it's not just 2 life, it's equal to power.
Yeah.
So when you're pumping it and it becomes 5/5, 6/6, and then they fatal push it, you gain a good chunk of life in some aggressive matchups. That's
it's going to be matchup dependent because, I mean, not that this deck is super relevant, but if you put it up against Is It Phoenix, that it shocks it, they're like, oh yeah, gain 2 life. It's not a 2/3, sure. But you put it up against Mono Red where it shocks it and you get that 2 life. That's huge.
Yeah.
Or Fatal Push probably, Fatal Push kills them either way. And the life gain, probably not that relevant against any Fatal Push deck.
Except for Mono Black Aggro.
Yeah, Mono Black Aggro, I suppose. Yeah, so I mean that's 2 examples right there. That's already enough. So, all right, game 5. Are you ready for this?
Game 5, you get to be on the play.
I like that. And now maybe let's. I kept 2 very medium hands the last 2 ones, just with Snoop to test the power of it. I don't think I would mulligan them anyways, but it was something like 4 lands, 3 goblins, 1 was a Snoop, and Snoop does facilitate flood a little bit more because you're happy as long as you're not flooding on the top as well. Then you're in trouble. But it's a lot tougher to flood when you have a Snoop, I feel. But
yeah, I mean, you used other than turn 1, you just used all your mana, right?
Yeah.
You went 2 through 5 playing a bunch of spells, so it was a strong curve even without a 1-drop, which is tough for this deck to manage, but Snoop did get you there.
And it was just shocking that you just got so lucky again drawing lands off the top. I'm just so surprised.
Mulliganing every game.
I will keep my hand of magical cards.
Ugh. God.
Let's go. Let's get another mulligan.
I've just been nothing but 1-landers and 5-landers.
Yeah, but there's between me and you. I keep those. And no, I'm just kidding. No, you can't do that in an aggro mirror, that's for sure.
5 lands, Thwatleys Raptor, Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah.
Not so good. Maybe I would keep 5 lands, Hardened Scales, Walking Ballista.
Okay.
That one I think is defensible.
Yeah, I can see that.
But when it's a 5-lander, the 2 spells have to be really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Grizzly Bear and 2 mana 2/3 Vigilance.
Hey, not bad. Grizzly Bear that gains you 2 life. Let's not get cray.
Does it?
Rob, you got one question for us? Same thing. Shuffles, mulligans. Ross does it every show.
Yeah.
You pick your word.
I've had a few questions. Do you think that Rewind might see play in Pioneer now that it's being printed in the format?
I just tend to think what decks would it be in? And there's not really a Wilderness Reclamation deck, right? There's that Sultai Wilderness Reclamation deck that I would see playing, and maybe a couple in Inverter. It would be kind of cute, you got you turn 4 with Inverter, you have 3 cards in your graveyard, you have Rewind and Dig through time. That seems absurd, right? Rewind, untap, dig. Seems sweet. So I could see small numbers, but I don't think it's going to be busted without 5. I don't think it's going to be busted without a good Wilderness Reclamation deck, but I mean, let's get real. There's bound to be a Wilderness Reclamation deck coming. I'm surprised Team Wreck is already not into Pioneer,
With the combos that other people are executing to just, kill you before you really get set up, and then
it is the third. It is the third best combo deck, I think, in Pioneer, which is crazy because it's insanely dominant in Standard.
Yeah.
So, but Inverter and Breach are just better, I would imagine.
Yeah, Rewind just too slow, I would say, for Pioneer.
4-mana counter spells are pretty rough in the older formats, but I think it will make a pretty good impact in Standard.
Yeah, we were impressed with it when we played with it, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and we played a bad matchup. We played a bad matchup for the Rewind deck.
An aggro deck,
Yeah, a super aggro deck, a Loxodon deck up against a Rewind deck. And, I mean, we had anybody who has not seen this Simic versus Mono White beatdown match. It was one of the best matchups. I think the best M21 preview match we had.
Yeah, it was games
insane.
Were very good.
It was insane.
Okay.
So 5 better be pretty good, bud, because this time my hand is nice.
Well, I mean, it's game 5, so I figured I'd mull the 5. It's just on
course.
theme.
That's on brand for you as well.
This is not a very good hand. And we run into this awkwardness. I will put these lands on the bottom.
Yorgu. I got a 1-drop.
Reveal Forest, and I also have a 1-drop.
All right. I think I'm just going to Searing Blood this, get that out of there. Take 4.
Yeah, so I'm at 16.
Here go.
Play 2/2.
Okay.
You can go.
Let's go with Burning Tree Emissary.
Yep.
I think I just want to play this. Get a Goblin and can't block and take 1.
15.
Here we go. Okay.
You can go.
All right. Okay, let's start with a Snoop. Snoop, there it is. Dang it. Legion Loyalist. Beginning combat. I will attack and...
Actually, hold on.
Yeah. Figured you.
It's the awkward part of this
is the Frenzied Goblin. Kind of forces your hand if you got the command, I imagine.
Yeah, I've just got to use it. I'm under too much pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to fight the... which one do I fight? I think I guess, regardless of what happens, this card checks here. First strike doesn't matter there. This will not be a good blocker this turn if it fights something.
Yep.
But if you just attack with like these 3, I still get to eat something with Serpent. Yeah, so let's fight the Frenzied Goblin.
Okay. What did you fight with?
I can't fight with this, so I have to fight with Pellet Collector.
Oh, yep. Okay. Yeah. So
yeah, this dysenergy has come up a couple times.
Okay, I don't think I have a good attack here then.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
Yeah, you go. All right. Well, your mulligan is definitely already stabilized, so I feel bad about
but
that.
You have Snoop on board.
I know, and I was kind of thinking maybe I should not have played Snoop, but you couldn't Dramoka's command and keep your creature alive. That makes sense. Come on. All right.
Miles away from turning the game around, but
yeah. We'll go with this green floating. Oh, Hezarino. Okay. Attack. I'm definitely not attacking with Snoop. I think same situation. You block here. You block Loyalist. Yep. Pass to you. Snoop. There it is.
Oh, why? This is like the most frustrating situation possible, where I've flooded horribly, but I'm still somehow 1 mana short to do something.
Okay. What could you have?
Corey has drawn the exact perfect number of lands.
And the one of Hezeret on top, that's going to be just absolutely wrecking for you.
It's not like I can wait on this. If I don't do anything this turn, you could just Hezeret and attack with everything and not even care.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm blocking the two of the 2-power things, and this is also 2 power, so this would be 2, 4, 7, 12. I would go to 3, just be dead next turn. Yeah, it's just, I can only play this 5/5, so it can't check
of
the
course,
hazard.
you want a 6/6, yep. Okay, done, I imagine?
Yep.
Well, that was the question, is do I start playing stuff off the top or not? And I think it's just Hezeret time. It seems foolish to not. So, Hezeret, I'm for sure attacking with this. Do I want to sacrifice any creatures here? These just get checked.
I'm at 15. If you slam with everything, I'm taking minimum 5.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with Hezeret. I'm going to play it conservative.
I think that is also reasonable.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the 1 hit.
Okay, so you go to 10?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Okay, that'll play.
Okay. You only put 1 counter on this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It got a counter from the Serpent last turn.
Yep.
And then 1 from Command.
Yeah, I mean, that does shut down Hezeret.
Yeah, so now, and then I'll have 4 blockers. You'll have, you'll be able to get in for 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Still can't attack, so I'll pass.
I'm just trying to line up, so it'd be...
Yeah, minimum 5.
Okay. Castle is not what we wanted.
Now, it could just be 4 damage that you get through to put me to 6, and then you have me dead in 2 turns, but then you leave yourself open to a pretty big crackback.
Yeah.
This is already 14, so I guess you're not dead to Anissa.
Yeah, I don't think this is great.
Yeah, you might
Castle is pretty good, though, for the sense of just pumping the team next turn. I'm just going to say go.
Yeah, I think you might just be in defense 5 turns with Hezeret. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Mode.
Yeah. I have done that so many times.
And I can't really attack.
Yeah, I got a free blocker here.
Yeah, you have free blockers, and like if I attack the Serpent, you just block with Hezeret and something else.
Oh, everyone loves the most annoying god possible. Hezeret was so hard to deal. I guess the Scarabian Genius was pretty difficult as well.
Yeah.
Walking Ballista or something would be pretty scary.
Yeah, you can go.
All right, 2 to you.
I'm at 8. It's just going to be the slow burn.
Okay, I can play that for sure. All right, and I think...
This might be an all-out attack turn, especially with a blocker back.
So
I block 4. This is already a 2. That's just lethal.
Yeah.
If I don't have anything.
If you don't have anything. I think it is safer for me to just get in with Hezeret.
After playing the castle?
Yeah.
So once again, I don't have a good block.
Yep.
But I do have to block. Yeah, I can't just go to 2.
Yep.
And I'm just dead next turn, and I don't think I have any outs. I think I have to buy enough time to top deck the combo, is basically it. And Heliod will buy me some time.
Yeah.
So I'll chump block.
All right. Here we go. Yeah, no point in me pumping it.
You're up.
All right. Land. Snoop, there it is. Snoop, there it is. All right. Triggers. It's probably time to just get in there. You block here.
Yes, it's lethal through a command.
Yeah, exactly. I would have figured that out eventually. It was time to go. Heliod. Oh, yeah. Heliod would have been insane. I mean, it's still pretty tough because you can't really attack I mean, if I'm still sending Hazard in, then you can probably do it. But then I actually just probably have to kill it, put enough in front of it to actually kill it.
And all I need to do is buy the one turn, then I at least have outs to win.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I mean, when you got your synergies going, it was awesome. When you didn't mulligan to Oblivion, which was very rarely, your deck looked sweet. And my deck, it was pretty difficult to actually push through damage, was my only concern in creature matchups like this. But Snoop. Insane.
Yeah, Snoop looked very good. The Achilles heel here on the Selesnya side is definitely going to be the mana base, but the cards themselves look great. Like Quatli's Raptor looks really good in this deck. Conclave Mentor is very similar to Walking Ballista, Winding Constrictor. Heliod is obviously a great addition, gives your deck another angle of attack, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's your Achilles Heliod.
Yes. And then Venerated Lockshot, and we saw put in some good work in the pre-board games as well.
On a roll. Yeah.
So all the white cards looked good. It was just the mana base, cost me some mulligans and looked a little awkward in certain spots. But
you need brush lands. That would really help your deck so much.
There's definitely the possibility that this deck has to wait until we get another good Selesnya dual land to really be playable, because the Golgari deck, while the mana base is really nice, you don't really main deck anything other than Walking Ballista, Winding Constrictor. Sometimes you see Thoughtseize main, sometimes you see push main. You never see both main. You see like one main and the other in the sideboard. Yeah. But sometimes it's just both in the sideboard and they're going really aggro. But they tend to be pretty artifact centric with things like Steel Overseer. It's just not a card I think is good.
Yeah. The one thing I am worried about for that deck is just looking at the broad metagame, and there's a lot of fatal pushes. And the Winding Constrictor type effects have always been kind of like a house of cards. If you lose one, the deck just looks incredibly worse. But something like this, if I look at this trying to beat up on Inverter, I bet it does. That beating up on Inverter, I doubt it. I really doubt it,
Yeah.
Because this is just fast. Same with against Breach. You can just...
Snoop helps you out a lot because they're going to try to play that control role a bit more.
Yeah.
Or just go
actually think Snoop would be bad against those decks, because, it still gets fatal pushed. You can play it. It's probably a turn 4 drop or whatever instead.
But they have to use their removal early or they die.
True.
So, you just don't play it on turn 2.
Yeah.
The Selesnya deck, I think, has more ways to function without the super scale draws.
Yeah.
Turn 1, Pelt Collector, Experiment 1 into Quatli's Raptor, and it's a 3/3.
Yeah.
That's going to demand a removal spell.
That's true.
Then maybe, you get the scale down later on.
And you have a better sideboard, for sure.
Yeah.
White actually, I think, has the best sideboard cards in Pioneer right now. Like, just rest in peace, Gideon's, for what the metagame is,
I would love to have a 1-mana removal spell, but that's about all that you're missing.
You want Path? Play Historic.
And when you get to play Walking Ballista, you're pretty good against creature decks, when you have your Ballista draws. And that card really, when it came down, was insane in this matchup. So
I would think you should have a good matchup here, but a mulligan to Oblivion and...
if your mana base isn't very consistent, then, even if your cards are good, you can easily lose to aggro decks.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to run you over when you stumble, and that's what was happening.
Yeah.
I probably stumbled more than you would expect. It's a 5-game sample, but
but pretty average for you.
Yeah. But Conspicuous Snoop really did give your deck a lot more staying power. It was really impressive every time you cast it.
Yep. Well, I think we solved it. Snoop Gob is definitely good. Let's keep playing that into M21. But we are a little behind schedule, so we are going to go to round number 2. What are you playing?
I'm going to be playing Sultai Dredge. Did they let me call it Dredge again?
Yes, it is Sultai Dredge.
Okay, even though there's not a single Dredge card in it, but indicative of this deck that existed, 5 months ago when I took second in a classic. But it's got some neat updates. We're doing some cool stuff with Silver Smoke Ghoul.
Okay, perfect. And I am unfortunately not doing the coolest of new stuffs, but just Sultai Delirium, a deck that is still going to be around with a couple new spicy M21 cards. So we're going to take a short 5-minute break and we'll be right back with round number 2 here on Versus Live.